Okay, hello, one more time, it's me Nadeem. So after giving you some introduction about the component, I am now going to tell you how would you be creating the component using functions. So in practice, it involves three steps, but you already have done the creation of the application, that is the React application. So you don't need to create a React application. So as I have mentioned here, after creating the React application, which means that you have already run this command, that is npx create dash react dash app, which actually have created an application and you have opened that application in Visual Studio Code as we have shown you in our last video. So once you have created the application, now you have to do these two steps. In case if you haven't created your application, then you can actually create the application using this command and then follow these two steps. So I think now I have made it clear. Okay, so assuming that the application has been created and you have opened it into the Visual Studio Code or Visual Code Studio. So now we are following these two steps in order to create our function component. So the first step is that we would be writing the definition, that is the working of our function or the component into a separate file. And in this case, I have given the name of the file as mygreetingapplication.js. And this is a very simple function, very simple component. And yeah, what it does, it will be just displaying a hello message, something like hello, how are you, or hello, I'm learning React programming language. So it's a very simplest component. In my greeting application.js, the first line I have used is import./app.css. Though this line is not required, but I have used it because I want to use the cascaded style sheet that is defined in application.css. And because this file is not, um, this file is, I want to use this file, that's why I have imported it here. And you know that if you want to import a file, you have to use the keyword import. Now from here until here is my function. As we mentioned that when we create the component using function, we must create a function with the help of the keyword function. Greeting element is the name of this function. You can give any name, but for this exercise, I have given it greeting element. Inside this function, I have created a variable greeting, which is a JavaScript variable, and assign a string value to it, which is hello, let's start learning function component. You can give it any string value. Then this function must return an HTML or something different, but it should return. So in the return statement, I am creating a div layer, which is an HTML tag. And this class name is basically using the application, which is coming from the Cascade style sheet. By the way, this div layer is not required, but again, just to show you how to use the Cascade style sheet, I have used it here. Now this is our element, this one from here till here. And what our element is doing, it is creating a heading, which is h1 element tag. And between this heading, with the help of curly bracket, it is using this variable greeting. So now you can see this is an example of JSX, that with the HTML element, I have included a JavaScript variable and put it into the curly bracket. And very importantly, at the end of this file, I have to export it, because if I will not export it, it will not be visible outside. So what did I do? I said export default. The name must be similar. This one name must be similar to this, and it is case sensitive. So export default greeting element. And then I have saved this application as my greeting application.js. Then I open index.js, which is created for you when you created the application. Look, these are the two variable, two files that is being used through the import command, and these are must to use. One is to use the React library from the React, and the other is the React DOM from the React DOM. It must be there in the index file, and it's always be there when you create an application, so do not touch it. Now note one more thing. This is the line we have included. And why we have included this line? Because we want to use greeting element in this index.js. So what did I do? I say import, because I am using a separate file, import. Greeting element is the name of the function that is defined here. It must be similar to this without this bracket. So import greeting element from dot slash the name of this file. Okay, so I say my greeting application. It is case sensitive. M is small, G is capital, and so is A. So I'm saying that from this file, import this function. Okay, and this is something already written for you by the React, so do not touch it. Now React DOM.render, this is always there when you open the index.js, so do not touch it. After your React.strict mode, this is a single line that you will be adding here. And what it's doing? It is just using the name of the function you created, greeting element, and put it into a closing tag, starting tag and closing tag, and then you save index.js. Once you save it and you run your command, you will see that the message would be displayed on the browser. Now in my next slide, I will be coding this thing for you. One more thing before I finish this slide. This is the last thing that I want to tell you. It is saying that document.get element by id root. So what it will do, it will add this element that we have created. Greeting element is our element that we have created into this file. So what it will do, it will create this element or component in the root of the web page. So just remember that when you want to add your component into index.js file, you use react DOM.render. You must use this function, and inside this function the last line should be document.get element by id root. This should be religiously followed until I say you don't follow it. Okay, so it's very simple to repeat that you open the index.js file, you do not touch anything, and then you just add this line, import greeting element from my greeting application, and then you write down the tag here, which is the name of the function you have created. Mind it, this function at the moment do not take any properties because this bracket is empty. So we do not do anything here. We just use the name of the function as it is. We save it and run your program, and you will see this message on your browser. Now in my next slide, I will show you how to code it because I have now explained it to you. So wait for my next slide and enjoy your time.